Long ago, in a dry land full of dust and long empty roads, there lived a rich merchant named Marcus. He owned many wagons, strong horses, and rooms filled with gold. People in the town knew his name, but they did not speak it with love. They feared him. Marcus believed only one thing mattered in life: profit. For him, everything had value only as long as it was useful. If a tool broke, he threw it away. If a worker became weak, he replaced him. Kindness, mercy, gratitude, these words meant nothing to him. Among his many horses was an old black horse named Shadow. For years, Shadow had been Marcus's best and strongest animal. He carried heavy goods across dangerous mountains and burning deserts. He walked through storms and dark nights without stopping. He never complained. He never failed. Because of Shadow, Marcus had earned much of his wealth. But time changes everything. As the years passed, Shadow grew old. His legs were no longer fast. His body became thin, and slowly his eyes lost their light. One day, the horse became completely blind. From that moment, Marcus decided Shadow was useless. He pushed the old horse into the darkest corner of the stable. The other horses were brushed and fed well. They stood proudly in clean spaces. But Shadow stood alone in the shadows. No one cleaned him. No one spoke to him. No one cared. He waited quietly, forgotten by the man he had served all his life. In the same region lived a poor woodcutter named Aaron. Aaron was about 50 years old. His back was bent from carrying heavy loads for many years. His hands were rough and cracked. Every morning before sunrise, he walked far into the hills to cut wood. He tied the heavy bundle with rope and carried it on his own back, because he had no cart and no animal to help him. At home, his wife and 5 children waited for him. They did not have much, but they had love. And that love gave Aaron strength to wake up each day and keep going. Aaron often sold his firewood to Marcus. Each time he entered Marcus's yard, he was treated badly. Marcus made him wait for hours. He paid him very little money. Sometimes he insulted him, speaking as if Aaron was worth nothing. Aaron always stayed silent, not because he was weak, but because his children needed food. One afternoon, Aaron entered Marcus's stable for the first time to deliver wood. As he placed the bundle down, his eyes noticed the strong horses first, clean, well-fed, shining in the sunlight. Then his gaze moved to the dark corner. There he saw Shadow. The horse stood still, thin and blind, with his head lowered. Aaron felt something heavy in his chest. He saw himself in that animal. Both had worked their entire lives. Both were tired. Both were treated as if they had no value left. Aaron slowly walked toward Shadow. He reached out and gently touched the horse's neck. For a moment, Shadow did not move. Then slowly, the horse leaned into Aaron's hand. It was the first gentle touch he had felt in a very long time. Aaron whispered softly, and tears filled his eyes. Later, Aaron asked Marcus, "Why do you treat this horse so badly?" Marcus's face became hard. "He is useless," he said coldly. "He cannot see. He cannot work. Why should I waste food on him?" Aaron hesitated, then asked, "If he is useless to you, can I take him?" Marcus laughed loudly. "You," he mocked. "You can barely feed your own family. What will you do with a blind horse?" And he refused. That night, Marcus entered the stable with anger burning inside him. Many years earlier, during a journey, 2 sacks of gold had been lost when Shadow stumbled on a rocky path. Marcus had never forgiven him. In his heart, he blamed the horse for that loss. Full of rage, Marcus beat the old horse with a whip. Then he ordered his workers to take Shadow far into the desert and leave him tied there. "Let him die there," Marcus said. The next day, Aaron went into the desert hills to cut wood. As he walked, he heard a weak sound carried by the wind, a soft, broken cry. He stopped. He listened again. Then he ran toward the sound. There, tied to a dead tree under the burning sun, stood Shadow. The horse was shaking, thirsty, and close to death. Aaron fell to his knees beside him. "Oh no," he whispered. He quickly gave the horse water from his small bottle. He untied the rope and gently held the horse's head. "You are not alone," Aaron said softly. With great effort, he led Shadow back home. When people saw him bringing a blind horse to his hut, they laughed. "Aaron has lost his mind," they said. "He cannot feed his children, and now he brings home a useless animal." But Aaron ignored them. He believed something simple and powerful. Sometimes the world throws away what still carries hidden value. Aaron's family cared for Shadow with patience. They shared their small amount of food. They cleaned his wounds. They spoke to him kindly. The children gently brushed his coat. Slowly, the old horse became stronger. Though blind, Shadow's ears were sharp. He remembered the desert paths he had walked for years. He remembered the roots, the rocks, the wind. One early morning, Shadow became restless. He moved his head and gently pulled on the rope, as if asking Eren to follow him. Eren trusted him. He held the rope and walked beside the horse into the desert. Shadow walked with surprising confidence. He did not stumble. He followed a path remembered deep inside him. After a long walk, they reached a rocky place marked by a strange stone shaped like a bird's head. Shadow stopped. Then he began scratching the ground with his hoof. Eren looked confused, but he started digging. After some time, his hands touched something rough. 2 old sacks. His heart began to beat fast. He opened them. Inside was gold. It was the same treasure Marcus had lost many years ago. Eren sat back in shock. He could not believe what he was seeing, but he did not let greed control him. He took only what he could carry. He buried the rest again carefully. When he returned home, he used the gold wisely. He bought food. His children ate full meals for the first time in years. He repaired his hut. He bought proper clothes, but he did not show off. He stayed humble. However, Marcus soon noticed that Eren's life was changing. Suspicion grew inside him. Greed returned to his heart. He secretly followed Eren one day and saw him walking toward the desert with Shadow. Marcus and one of his workers followed quietly. When they reached the rocky place and saw the gold, Marcus's eyes burned with greed. "That is mine," he shouted. He pushed Eren aside. But greed does not bring peace. Marcus and his worker began arguing over the treasure. Each wanted more. Their anger grew wild. In their madness, they turned against each other. In the fight, they seriously hurt one another. Greed destroyed them. Eren stood back, holding Shadow's rope. He understood something important at that moment. Wealth without kindness brings destruction. Eren buried part of the gold again and decided never to return to that place. He took only what was enough for his family's future. With time, Eren used some of the money to bring a doctor from the city. After careful treatment and surgery, something beautiful happened. Shadow slowly regained his sight. The first time the old horse saw the green fields near Eren's home, he ran like a young animal again. The children laughed and ran beside him. Shadow lived the rest of his years, not as a tool, not as property, but as family. He was loved, he was respected, and he was free. Marcus had everything but lost it because of greed. Eren had almost nothing but gained everything because of kindness and patience. This story teaches us something powerful. Never measure value only by usefulness. Never throw away what seems weak. And never let greed control your heart. Because sometimes, the greatest treasure is hidden inside what the world calls useless, and true wealth is not gold. It is kindness, gratitude, and the courage to remain humble even when life changes.